Rogelio is going to be our driver. So in Panama, we need really good drivers. You will see why. Okay, so my name is Carlos. Carlos, we in Panama, we are 5 million people, 1 million Carlos. So that's going to be easy for you too. Okay, so yeah, that's the most common name in Panama. No more Carlos now. Now there are more Charlies. Yeah, nobody names their kids Carlos anymore. Now Charlie, which is in English, right? The same. So well, my friends, we are right now in Colón City. You know what Colón means? Colón. Christopher Columbus. Cristobal Colón in Spanish. Christopher Columbus in English. So Christopher Columbus came to these areas in 1502. You know what retrete means? Toilet. What happened in this area where we are, they just to be full of mangrove, red mangrove over here. So it's swampy and very smelly. So that's why he named this area Retrete Island back in the day. So now we call it Columbus. That's revenge. You know? No, just kidding. So now we call it Columbus in honor of Christopher for you guys. In a few minutes, we have to drive. Well, this morning you went through the locks, right? And the old ones, right? The new ones. Oh, you went the new ones. Oh, good. So, well, you're going to drive now in the new ones again. We have to drive on top of the locks, of the gates. So now you went today by bus and by boat into the new locks, right? So here on the left-hand side, it was the old one, right? 1914. And this morning, you went 2016. That was open 2016. That's the original ones for 1914, sorry. So, well, how many people working here? Almost 10,000. How many people lost their life to build this, over 25,000 people to build the Panama Canal here in this country here. So, well, you know part of the history already. French came here to build the canal first, right? And then United States came over and built the canal. Why French cannot finish it? Yellow fever and malaria, right? Well, you know, the yellow fever and malaria was the problem, but the real problem was that they didn't know where they came from. They believed were coming was carried by ants, not by mosquitoes. So when people got sick, they were putting like a water around the beds to keep the ants away. And they basically were feeding the mosquitoes, right? So that's one of the main reasons it was really hard for them. Even for the United States, when the United States came over, there was a Carlos Finland, not me. Carlos Finland, he was the doctor, Cuban doctor who told the United States, hey, it's a mosquito, not ants. And they started spreading. They spray all these areas here for almost a year. Okay, with the Dr. Gorgas. Gorgas was an American doctor who sprayed all these areas here against the mosquitoes, the yellow fever and malaria. Yellow fever is called because people were turning like a yellow in those days when they got sick. And malaria, why they call malaria?
Mal is bad.
Bad air. Bad air, bad area. That's why it's called bad area. Why is that? Because the French believed that the air from the forest were bringing the disease. So that's mean in those days at 6 p.m. in these areas, people were wrapping their bodies like mummies. Like what we are doing now for COVID, mask. They were wrapping the whole body to be away from, stay away from those diseases, but there was a mosquito. They got a house plants in those days with water, and they were basically feeding the mosquitoes, attracting the mosquitoes in those days, right? So, just get ready a few minutes. Over there, we're gonna go into the new locks right now. So we are in Colón. Colón, sorry, I don't know what happened. Colón is basically a people from Jamaica and Barbados, Martinique, who came here to build the canal. The origin from those areas, right? Why so many people from Jamaica and Barbados came here to build the canal with the United States? Why is that? Cheaper labor? What else?
They're used to the weather.
Resistant to the weather, but something else.
Same language.
Pardon me?
Same language.
Same language. You got it. They speak English. That's why when you go into history, they are not Panamanians in the first 4 or 5 years of construction. They were no Latin American people. After 5 years, more or less, they start. You can see people from Cuba, Panama, and Colombia, Ecuador, start moving down here to build the canal. But when you go to the history, they say there were over 20,000 people came from Barbados, right, to build the canal. 20,000 people, right? But what happened? Jamaica was the British colony in those days. So the British told Jamaicans they were not allowed to come no more people coming to Panama, because so many of them they were losing their life. They lost their life here in Panama. So the Jamaicans, they were really ones to come because their salaries were really good in those days. What they did, they moved to Barbados and changed their names, and then they can go, right? So when you go to the history, they say 20,000 people came from Barbados. In those days, the Barbados population were 19,000 people. And 20,000 people came here from Barbados. So all of them were Jamaicans, most of them. Well, I mentioned that is because now in 2003, when Panama turns like 100 years after we get independence, right, from Colombia. Many people came from Jamaica, and then in 2014, for the 100 years of the canal, looking for their people. But they couldn't find them because they have different names and last names. It's impossible to know where they come from. When we say 25,000 people died building the canal, I would say 50% of them we don't know where they came from. They got it wrong. I mean, they were not using their right names. So in the history, most of them they were just buried in the canal after landslides on the Panama Canal. So here, well, we have to wait a couple minutes here. It could be in Panamanians, a couple minutes can be 2 minutes or 2 hours. Okay, that's we never know. You know what mañana is? Mañana. Tomorrow, right? Tomorrow in Panama can be mañana, 2 days, 5 days, 2 months. Nobody knows. That's mañana. How long to take the bill, the new one or the old one? Okay, the old one took I would say 30 years, 20 by French and 10 by United States. The new ones, the original idea was 7 years, but there were 9. 9 years to build the new ones. Why? As we're expecting 7, okay, 7 years, but there were 9 at the end. Is because the canal they hired a contractor company from Spain, which the name is Sacir Company. Sacir Company got us some corruption problems in Spain. When they came here to Panama, after 3.5 years building the canal, they told the canal, you know what, we ran out of money. We cannot continue this project. So then there was a problem between the canal and this contractor company, back and forth. You know what happened after that. So well, there were 2 years delay. But 2 years in 2014, when they said we're ready, you can use the canal now. The canal came over here and started testing everything, and then the walls and the walls and the gates were leaking. They were all leaking. So that's for 2 years, and then United States, I mean, the canal hired a company from United States to bring us some pipes and start pumping concrete through the cracks to fix the problem. So it took 2 extra years. On top of that, the Smithsonian, in these areas, they found some fossils for 20,000 years ago. The giant grand sloth and many animals. We have no dinosaur fossils here because we are only 3 million years old, right? We got some like animals like for 10, 20,000 years ago. So you know, when they find the fossils, everything stopped. On top of that, people from these areas, they did a big strike because nobody paid them, because there was the companies in the canal and that Sacir company were in a little problem, so nobody get paid for a few months. So there was a big strike in the whole country, especially here. Here where we are, there were people, thousands of people here in those days. So you can imagine 2 more years. So the original budget to build the new locks was 5.2 billion. At the end, well, the canal never told us their real price at the end, but we are pretty sure there were 7 to 8 billions at the end to build the canal, right? So now, a question for you now, guys. How much money is making the canal a day? What do you think? Who say 1 million? 2 millions? 3 millions? 4? Who say 4? Say 5? A day average is around 13. Average. The average, remember, some days they can make 15, 16, so millions a day. Our public. That's a good question. I have the same one. I got the same question. All the Panamanians, we got the same question. Where the money's going? Panamanians, can I be real with you guys? Yes, okay, in Panama? Well, we have time today. We're gonna be like an hour and 20, hour and a half before we get there. So well, money in Panama, we are 5 million people in the whole country, right? Minimum wage in Panama is $650 a month. This is very low minimum wage compared with our incomes, right? But this is the highest minimum wage in Latin America. Believe of them, right now. So what happened? Right now, the money, last year the canal made like gross profit was 4.5 billions. Net profit was 2.4 billions, right? So that money, they go directly to the government. Every year, every September, the money from the canal go to the national treasury. What happened after that? We don't know. They go to some pockets. Because what's happening in Panama, we have so many politicians in Panama, so we got a problems with corruption with the politicians here. So, for example, next year we got a president elections. There are going to be elections next year. So they're using a lot of this money for the campaigns right now. So every 5 years we have a president elections, every 5 years. So every 4 years we got new roads, new constructions. You see the politicians every 4 years. So a year before the elections, you see all those guys fixing the roads. They're painting the schools, things like that. Well, that's just what's happening right now. And so next year, in 1 year from now, it's going to be election. So that's just what's happening. But now what happened with the money from the canal? Just the administration is getting bigger. For example, the bodyguards for the congressmen, They used to be using one, now they got 4. Right? So they just passed the law. They say they wanted bodyguards for their families too. So when our taxes on the Panama Canal, we pay bodyguards. Let's say for every politician, at least 12 bodyguards. At least 12 with good salaries. So that means the money from the canal is not going directly to the people, going to some places there. For example, in the schools in Panama, we got a lot of schools, public schools, where they are not ready. We started school a month ago, and some of the schools are not ready. They cannot, kids cannot go to school now because some of the school doesn't have a roof, no chairs, or there are no teachers in this moment. So this has been a big problem for Panama right now. We do healthcare in Panama, yes. We pay 10% of our incomes for healthcare. I want to explain a little bit more about that. Yes, but that is what's happening here with the money from the Panama Canal. Always the people make me that question. I'm expecting that question, but I can't say it. I have no answer. I can tell you what's happening here more or less, but all this money, 2.4 billions, they're gone. We don't know what's happening with that money. So, beside that, well, Panama is a very nice country to live. Beside what's happening with the politicians and the corruption here, well, yes, we have talking about natural disasters. We have no fires in Panama. There are no hurricanes. Hurricanes start here on the Caribbean, and we send them to the Caribbean. They never come in this way. We send them to Miami, all those areas, and most of them start here in these areas. And once in a while we can feel the tails, the rain, things like that. That's it. And no earthquakes. Earthquakes in Panama, not many. Why is that? Because Panama has like our private tectonic plate. It's a tectonic plate around Panama, just around Panama. And this little tectonic plate is between the Coco and the Caribbean tectonic plate, the big ones. So it's like a bouncing. We are like a hammocks. So what I mean with that is every time these big ones are moving, we just bounce it. We go with the flow. So when we have our earthquakes in Panama, they last for 3-4 seconds, and they go like a 3.4, 5, or 4. But they last for a few seconds. That's it. So when you are driving, you don't even know what's happening. When you get to your house and the news, you can see where's an earthquake in Panama, right? So well, here in Colón, people from Colón, even here from Jamaica, Barbados, and Martinique. In Panama, we speak Spanish, right? But because the French came here to build the canal in the United States, people from Martinique, people from Jamaica, all those countries. So now in Panama, we have a mix of French, English, and Spanish. With Panamanian dollars.
Can you ask for Balboa dollars?
Yeah. What, which one, sir? Yeah, so in the United States, when you order something from Amazon, they always give the choice to pay in dollars or in balboas, which is the same. But if I say balboas, they charge me like 3% more. Here we go, my friends. If you are sitting on the right hand side, you can take a picture of the new locks. Okay, if you are sitting on the left hand side, you can take a picture of these people taking pictures over there. Now here, what's happening here? These areas are to recycle, right? This is those pools, 3-liter pools over there. Those are to recycle water system over here. So that means that represent 20% of the total of the water we need to take a ship through the canal. So that means 60% of the water can be recycled. Right? They're 20, 20, and 20. And 40 came from the lake over there. So that is one of the main difference between the old canal and the new one. In the old one, there were no recycling. It's all, we spent 52 million gallons of fresh water for every transit in the old ones, and 60 million gallons of fresh water in this one for every transit. And in total, a day we got an average of 45 ships going through. So this is the amount of water we are using every day. Just to give an idea, when one day Panama Canal operation, we can provide water to New York City for 20 days. Look at this. Now we're on top of the gates. Both sides, you can see the Caribbean, and here now we're on top of the lake, the gates right now. Those gates are made in Italy. They weigh over 3,000 tons, each one. That's it, that's the edge. I told you, I have to go to the busy one. Create the treaty in Panama, we just give it a paper to him. So hey, take it to the United States and sign up in the United States. And that treaty said that the canal was 100 years belong the United States. But the French guy changed that for forever. 100 years for forever. Another thing he changed was there was the United States had the rights to build a canal here, just the canal. The French guy changed that and put it like 5 miles in each side of the canal where it belonged to the United States. Right? So they changed a lot of things in the original treaties when they get to the United States. So well, and here where we are, they were part of the 5 miles on both sides of the canal. And this is the area back in the days when if you were born here, you were not Panamanian. You were USA citizen. You're now one of the famous politicians who was born here. John McCain. John McCain was born here in Cologne. Here in Cologne, he's originally from here. So, John McCain was Panamanian and basically, but he was American because he was born inside the military area belonging to the United States. I don't know if you remember, some of you remember when he was running for president. There was a lot of problems with him because people say, no, you're an American, you are. So, because he was born in Panama. Right? So, that's the reason. He was born here in those days. So back in the days, United States were running these areas here where we are. So we were not allowed to come over here. Even you, if you were coming from the United States, you were not allowed to come this far because there was military area. So for some of the areas here, since 1904 until 2000, we were not allowed to come to these areas. So there are a few areas that are new for us as Panamanians. So that means we are and always in Panama we say we are the youngest country in the Latin America. We have been free for 23 years. Yeah, but you know, when the United States turned over the canal back to Panama, that was good for some people, but really bad for another people. What I mean with that, when the United States turned over the canal back to Panama, that was good for the rich people, right? But what happened? With the Panama Canal areas and the land, there were more than 25,000 Panamanians working, cleaning the houses, cleaning the gardens, cooking, so taking care of these areas. When the United States give the canal back to Panama, these people get unemployment, right? So from 2000 until 2003, the unemployment rate in Panama was 18%. 18, because I'm talking about 25,000 people. Remember, these people, maybe one of them will represent one family. In Panamanians, right now, every family, the average family got 2 kids right now in Panama. So let's say there were at least 75,000 people or 100,000 people affected in 2000 by this. So minimum wage in these areas where we are in 2000 was $2.50 per hour in the canal areas. Minimum wage in Panama City was 98 cents in those days. So that was something big for the people working here. When I said minimum wage here was for those people low skills, right? They were cleaning the garden or whatever. So, but they were making more money for those people. 10% of our population are indigenous. We have 7 different groups, 7 different indigenous groups in Panama, right? 10% of our population indigenous, 7 groups. 20% of the country are belong to indigenous. They have like a reservations belong to indigenous. So 20% of the whole country, the land, is belong to the indigenous of Panama. The tribe we're gonna visit today, they're called Embera. Embera is the name of those tribes, the tribe we're gonna visit today. These indigenous are original from Colombia. They came to Panama around the 350 years ago. They came to Panama. So these people we're gonna visit today, their culture is totally different than my culture, your culture, everybody's culture around. What I mean with that? Now look at this, guys. Today when we go to the village, they may happen today. When you get to the village, there will be some kids with their hands like this. What came to your mind when you see like, people with hands like this? Begging, right? But today, that's not the case. When you see kids with a hand like this, that means let me grab your hands. You know, they want to check your hands, so grab your hands and take you to my village. So I mentioned that is because when you get to the village, and today you decide to put a $5 bills in their hands, you are changing the culture. You are changing the culture, okay? So don't do that. If you want to support these people today, let's say you fall in love with one of the kids in the village. What you're gonna do is put in your suitcases and go. No. What we're gonna do is with these kids, ask them what is your mom table. What I mean with a table, when we get there, it's gonna be tables with handcraft. Every table represents a family. So if you want to support specific kids, ask, hey, where's your mom table? And we'll start pointing. Specific table, I get something from there if you want to support them. The money you pay today for this tour, okay? Some of the money go for the community, everybody on the village, because everybody get like a salaries. And today there are people dancing. They're gonna perform some dances for us. Some of them they're gonna cook. We're gonna have a lunch with indigenous people today, right? Some of them they're gonna be driving the canoes. Okay? So everybody has something to do. So everybody get paid for the money you pay for this tour. But the money you spend and then the tables go straight to the families. Why they need money? Because in Panama, education is mandatory up to 11th grade. It's mandatory, and everybody have to wear uniforms, which is good, right? Everybody have to wear uniform. Well, what I mean with this, they have to buy their own uniforms and the school supply. So these indigenous, they want to send their kids to schools, okay? But they need to buy uniforms and they have to buy school supplies. Besides that, the place we're gonna visit today, this place is a national park. These indigenous came here in 1950. Okay, they're not original from this area. They're original from we call Darien. Darien is the province near to Colombia. By the way, you know Darien, you ever heard that name before? Okay, you know that the Panama Highway comes from Alaska all the way down to Panama and stop in Darien. There are no roads between Panama and Colombia. If you want to go to Colombia, you have to walk, so swimming or fly. There's no way to drive from Alaska to Panama and then go to Colombia by boat and take the ferry, take your car to Colombia and continue all the way down to Argentina. So the Emberas are original from Darien, from that area near to Colombia. They came here, as I mentioned before, in 1950s. And these people we're going to visit today, they are the same people who were training the U.S. soldiers before they go to Vietnam. The Emberas, they were in charge of the U.S. Training, jungle training in those days, in the 60s. All the soldiers heading to Vietnam, they were helping by the Emberas in Panama. Do you know Neil Armstrong?
Yes.
You hear that name before, right? Well, you know that all the astronauts, before they go to the moon, they were training with the Emberas. All of them, they were here for 2 weeks. But why they were here? Why they were doing jungle training? If they were going to the moon? Maybe they know something we don't know. Aliens, right?
Yes.
They were basically doing training is because they say that when they were coming back home, if they get a wrong landing, they have to know how to survive. If they were landing in the rainforest or in the deserts or in different places, they were doing trainings, survival trainings in different areas. And they choose Panama for the jungle training by the Emberas. So the Emberas were training the astronauts and the soldiers back in the days. That's the reason they have the right to live in the Panama Canal area. Panama Canal areas. Remember, Panama Canal areas were below the United States. So they get the right to live over there. So the Emberas. Okay? So now today, a magic word is going to be Shaba. Shaba. Shaba does mean hello, my friend. Shaba. Like a shovel. Shaba. Okay? If you want to say thank you, you can say Bia Bua. Bia Bua is thank you very much. Bia Bua. You can say you are welcome. Biabua. Thank you very much. Biabua. Okay? Chaba. Biabua Chaba is like a thank you very much, my friend. Biabua Chaba. Another thing, my friends, today, if you bring some candies, you can give it to the kids, right? It's okay. My advice is give it 1 or 2 per kids. You know, sugar and kids are no good combination. And you're gonna get really you are gonna be really popular in the town if you give it more than 2 candies for kids. The best way to do it is give it 1 or 2, and the rest of the candies give it to the chef or to the leader of the village. Give it to him. He can handle that when we leave the village. Yeah. So, any questions so far?
How many children are there?
How many children are there? The children in that village we're gonna visit today, there are around 125 people, and there are over 35 kids, more or less. And remember now they must school now. When we get there, maybe they're heading back from school, back to the village. The schools are in the next village, so they have to walk like 20 minutes to get to the next school. Half an hour, 20 minutes. So in that area we're going to visit today, it's a national park, so they are not allowed to do any kind of crops. They are not allowed to hunt animals. They are allowed to fishing. They go fishing, once in a while they go hunt when nobody around, or no rangers. They go, of course they go, but they're not legal to do that. It's not legal. In Panama, hunting is not legal in Panama. We are not hunting season. So, because they're original from Darien. In Darien they have a big land belonging to the Emberas, where they can hunt, they can build their houses. Even the place where we're going today, they have to ask for permits to the government to build their houses, because they need to cut down the trees. So that's why the only way to survive is doing this. Open the door for visitors, so they survive out of this. Yes. If they speak Spanish, they do. They speak Spanish because education is mandatory. So now they have to go to the school. So in Panama, the education, the first language has to be Spanish. Second language, English. So yes, most of the people my age, like 40, 45 years old, they speak Spanish. Some of them over the 50, they are learning Spanish, but they have a very broken Spanish. But yes, you will see today, maybe one of the guys over there, you're gonna meet him. This guy is like I call him guest relation, because he's like 25 years old. He speaks really perfect Spanish, so he's the guy in charge of do the speech for everybody. So he speaks English, Spanish, and their own language, which is called Embera. Embera. And we say Chaba. So in their own language, it's out from the nose. It's very nasal. They say Chama, Chama, Chama. So it's come from the nose. For them, it's learn English and Spanish is kind of hard. For them, speak French is easier because the accent it's nasal. For them, it's easier to speak some French than English or Spanish. But now they speak Spanish and some of them English as well. They speak English because some of the Peace Corps, people from the Peace Corps, go and stay there for a few months and teach them English. And some missionaries going to the church, to the villages now. Where we are is called more information about these areas where we are. Let's go back in the history. 1502, Christopher Columbus came to Panama. 1513, they found the Pacific Ocean in Panama, right? 1519, the Spaniards they built the first Spanish city on the Pacific coast in the whole continent. That happened in Panama in 1519. Because they found the Pacific Ocean in Panama, they started conquest of South America on the Pacific coast. There will be Peru and Bolivia. So they were basically bringing the gold and silver from Peru and Bolivia to Panama, but at the same time they need people to work in Panama to move this gold and silver coast to coast. So that means Panama was the slave market in those days. Most of the slaves came from Africa. 95% of them came from Africa, but 5% of them were white slaves. Can you guess where they come from? The white ones? White slave.
Argentina.
Yeah. Irish.
Irish.
The back in the days were treated as by the British as a slave. So many of those Irish people came to Panama as a slave in those days, right? To Panama. So Panama was the slave market in those days for Central America plus as a part of South America back in the day. So well, Chilibre is basically the name of those slaves from Africa who escaped from the Spaniards, make alliance with indigenous people. In these areas were many indigenous people here 500 years ago. They were living here. Most of them they were killed and disappeared by disease and many ways that the Spaniards were attacking them. Do you know that how the Spaniards were attacking the indigenous people in Panama? No with guns. They brought over 30,000 dogs from Spain. Yeah, the four-legged dog animal. So they brought over 30,000 to Panama, training them, and they were sending animals ahead to the villages. By animals, these dogs, they were killing everybody in the village and taking gold and silver. And then they were bringing some disease from Spain. They were sick people, for example, with a chicken pox. They were wearing a t-shirt, for example, like this. They were take it off and throw it to the villages. When the people grabbed those ones, they start getting sick. So that was the way they basically eliminate all the indigenous people from these areas where we are right now. So, Chilibre, this area here where we are, is named after this guy who escaped from them and was helping that another slave who escaped from the Spaniards. They were living in these areas. So Chilibre, what happened? Almost 400 years later, the United States came over here to build a canal, right? Well, they built a canal, but there were people living where your cruise ship is right now on the lake. There were towns back in the days. What happened for those without people living in those areas? They're the same people living here. They moved here where we are. From the lake, because this is a man-made lake. So the people from that lake, now they're living here. And remember, they were moving out in 1904. They started moving the people out of that area. Because the construction of the Panama Canal started in 1904. So they started moving out people here. The people living here, in Spanish, some words are totally different than the United States. The meanings are totally different. For example, the mix between black people and indigenous people, in Panama we call them sambos. And now that word is not really good in part of the United States. But sambo, for us, they're kids. Sambo is just a mix between the black and indigenous people. Like a white and black is mestizos, right? So for Panama, we have no racist problems. What I mean with that is that in every family, in our roots, we have some Chinese, some black people, so people from all over the world. So in my case, I got two sisters. They're twins. They're 24 years old. One is Chinese looking face, and the other one is dark skin. Same mother and same father. Well, my mom told me that. But well, yeah. So, well, yeah, we are the same ones, and nobody believed me that are my sisters. But what I mean is that in our roots, in every family, you get everybody. You got different ones. So in Panama, there's no towns where you can say this town is only for black people, this town is only for white people. No. We are just living together, everybody in Panama. So we have no those kind of issues in Panama about that. I mentioned that as my friends because, for example, right now most of the grocery stores in Panama are running by Chinese, right? Asian people. When you walk into the stores, you don't know the name of those people over there. You will say, "Good morning, Chinese." That's it. And they will smile and say, "Hey, good morning, my friend." And that's it. You don't get in trouble. So things like that. So here in these areas where you just get off over here and say, "Hey, you ask this lady, are you black, white, mestiza?" She will say maybe black, maybe white, who knows? They don't care. So yeah, so I remember my daughter when she was she's a little dark skin, and I told her, "You're white." She started crying and said, "No, I wanted to be black." So because all the friends, they were dark skin. Now my family, there's a lot of people with dark skin. So, and I'm very light because my mom is from Colombia. My mom is very light skin, but my father is a little dark skin. So it's a mix in that. It's a mystery here. From the Pacific and the Caribbean, they get right there together. I mean, they meet there and they bring salt from both oceans. So this salt is dropping over the crops. It's giving special flavor to the berries. So they have a special flavor to those ones. And it's a volcanic soil in that area. area, so it's a very unique coffee that is. So coffee, rice, beans, we got all kind of crops in Panama. The most famous crops in Panama will be fruits. We produce bananas, you know, Chiquita company, Chiquita. So we got a Chiquita company. We got a pineapples, a lot of pineapples in Panama, right? So we produce all kind of fruits, tropical fruits, mangoes. Maybe in another 4 weeks, if you walk around here, they will be free because there's so many. People pay you to rid of those monkeys. Those are a monkey. Mangoes. So the mangoes all over it. Yeah, so well. Many fruits in Panama, all those kind of crops. Well, the agriculture in Panama.
Gracias, Roger.
Okay.
Bye. Gracias, Carlos.
¿De dónde es usted?
A California, pero viví en México por 13 años. Chabachua. Biabua. Biabua. I'm gonna bypass you with my companion. We're getting in these canoes and we're going to their village. So we have to put life jackets on.
I brought a plastic bag for my phone or something. Nice.
Oh my gosh, their ding dongs are in the bags.
Oh my gosh, seriously?
I think so.
Hey.
Yeah, that right? Maybe. No. No, it's part of the. They're tucked. What is Shaba mean? Yeah.
Shaba?
Uh-huh.
It's either ba or ba.
Biabua, I thought was.
Oh. Okay, so then what does Shaba?
Hola.
Oh, it's Shaba. Shaba. Shaba.
Ay,
Jaba,
Shaba.
Java. Java.
Jaba, amigo.
Muy amable. Diabo.
Biabu, oh, Biabu. Samabu, Samabu,
Samabu.
¿cómo está?
Samabu.
Bien.
Sí,
Diabo.
bien. Diabo.
Small.
Yeah, looks
¿Cómo te llamas?
Anel.
Anel. Mucho gusto. He's like, what the?
different language.
Yeah, I was like, whoa. Okay, do you have yours or no?
He gave me a really big one.
Okay, here. He'll probably put it on.
Jaba, Biabu.
so interesting.
Right? Look, they're all different too. Every single one is different. Very classy. Make sure.
So we've seen the Continental Divide. Oh, that's right. And we've seen the Continental Divide down here.
Aquí mismo. Jay.
Just way over there. You're gonna be on the front seat, okay? So you way up to the left. You're gonna be the last. Para el espacio del señor.
Sí.
Yeah, you can come over here.
Gracias.
Alcanza veloce.
Multiple, 3 buses. No, here, it's going backwards. Oh, okay. Right now I'm going backwards.
Oh, that's smart. I'm going to do the same thing.
Very respectful how they take the ladies, grab the older man. Like, look at it's beautiful. Reflects the sun, you know, or whatever.
Keep your hand.
little sisters. Like, yeah, there's not such a thing as half.
Yeah, that's right.
You know. But just to, you know, put some concept behind it, right? Yeah, it's like family. Because it's literally true, huh?
Right, yeah.
I That makes sense. And why don't you go first and show him the drive card? Okay, and then I can scoot over. Okay, go for it. I think.
Ahí que estaba batiendo.
Gracias. Muy bella. Gracias. Hola. Gracias. Gracias.
Están bienvenidos a la comunidad Pararapuru.
Welcome, my friends, to the Pararapuru community over here. The Embera Pararapuru.
Bueno, nosotros aquí, yo primeramente para presentarme, yo me llamo Brenio, soy el líder de esta comunidad de Pararapuru.
My name is Brenio. I'm the leader of this community here.
Bueno, aquí dentro de la comunidad somos 33 familias y 120 de niños y adultos.
120 people living here and 33 families.
Bueno, ahora También, ¿verdad? Quiero para que conozca un poco la historia de nosotros, cómo hemos llegado a este río Chagre.
We are going to share a little bit of a very quick story about how we get here to this river.
Bueno, la primera familia que llegó a este río Chagre llegó en 1950 a este río Chagre cuando no era parque, no era tierra nacional.
The first Emberas came to these areas was in 1950. This was not a national park. It was just a jungle.
El Embera siempre vive en la orilla del río y entonces nosotros cada kilómetro teníamos una familia, otra familia, otro kilómetro, así vivían los Embera cuando llegaron en el Caribe.
So back in the days when the first family started coming over here, there was a one family here, and half a mile away from here, or maybe a mile away from here, there was another family. They were not living together.
En 1984 el gobierno crea el Parque Nacional Chagre.
In 1984, the government created a national park.
Cuando se crea el parque nosotros los Embera no sabíamos porque se prohibió hacer agricultura y entonces lo que primero que dijo el medio ambiente que nosotros teníamos que hacer una comunidad, la comunidad Pararapuro, se crea en 1986 la comunidad Pararapuro.
And then, when they created the national park, we were not allowed to hunt animals. We were not allowed to farm it anymore. We were not allowed to cut down the trees to build our houses. So in 1986, the government told them, now you have to live together in order to still live in these areas. And they created this community.
Después que se crea la comunidad, primeramente nosotros pedimos, los padres, nosotros los abuelos, pidieron lo que es la escuela, porque nosotros primero no sabíamos hablar español, no sabíamos escribir y también un poco hablamos el español.
So in 1986, the first thing they did, they asked the government for a school. They asked the government to build a school here in the town, because in those days, some of them didn't know how to write or read, and no Spanish. They were using their own language, which is Embera.
Bueno, después aquí, ahora las primeras escuelitas que teníamos eran de rancho como esto, ahora tenemos una escuela ya más moderna, tenemos ya de bloques, tenemos vajillas.
So back in the days, the school used to look like this. Now we have a nice school. This is a nice school. It's made up of bricks and blocks with cement. So it's 2 classrooms. They go up to 9th grade. It's a multi-grade. Kids go from kindergarten until 6th grade. Go in the morning. In the afternoon, they come from the 7th grade to 9th grade. Right? So it's in the afternoon. Two teachers.
Bueno, de ahí nosotros, ¿verdad? Ya ahora trabajamos con los visitantes, pues cuando ustedes vienen, ¿verdad? Nosotros nos sentimos alegres que nos vienen a visitar. Sabemos que ustedes vienen de muy lejos a visitarnos a nuestra comunidad.
So we feel very happy when you are here today because we know that you are coming from far away, right? So now the only way to keep living together is doing this because they are not allowed to hunt animals. They are not allowed to do nothing else. So the only way to get some source of incomes is selling tours, bringing people here. Well, as you can see, in a few weeks they won't be able to bring anybody else here because the level of the water is going to be so low. So you are one of the last ones of this dry season.
Bueno, el gobierno crea el Parque Nacional Chagre porque este el río Chagre es muy importante porque de esto ahora mismo el río está seco. Los que vinieron vieron que el río está bastante seco, pero el lago llega hasta allá arriba, donde queda la escalera para arriba, es el lago para el mes de febrero. En febrero está lleno. Ya para estos meses va secando donde va a llegar.
Right now we are missing around 12 to 13 feet of water in the river at this moment. Almost, now we're in March, almost April. In February, the water was over here, was very close. The boats were getting close on that house. So in the last 2.5 months, the water level was so low, it's been dropping. Why is that? Because this water is feeding the canal. This morning, when you went through the logs, the water came from this river. water came from this river.
Bueno, así nosotros hemos estado aquí, ahora nosotros nos dedicamos con los visitantes, ¿verdad? Y ahora ya no nos dedicamos a la agricultura, nosotros no nos dedicamos con los visitantes que vienen a visitar nosotros. Es por eso que siempre nosotros se escucha la música y se escucha también todo la alegría que se hace con ellos mismos.
So as you can see, or you can hear the music back there, it's because that's the way they share with the people when they come to visit. So that means in a few minutes, all of you are going to be dancing here. They're going to play the music here as well. So that's the way they celebrate when somebody comes to visit. They play music, right? So that's the way they say we're happy.
Ajá. Bueno, ahora también yo quiero hablarle en mi dialecto para que escuchen, ¿verdad? Que nosotros somos Embera, tenemos nuestro dialecto también, y entonces quiero saludarle en mi dialecto a ellos.
Okay, my friends, and now he's going to do something very special. He's going to talk in his own language. He wants to say some words, share some words with you in his own language. Nothing to do with Spanish or English. You will see. Let's go. Dale.
Que ahora Ibaripia, Japana, Ethiopia, Sentigua, Panama, Tairakire, Sefuneta, Puru Hingawa, Taiwa, Puneta, Purasama, Panama, Teutata, Nawatita, Iraputita, Sentipuneta, Panama, Tairakire, Sefunua, Puru, Tunua, Yabuya, Japana.
You got it, right? Every single word.
Les dije muy buenas tardes, están bienvenidos a nuestra comunidad y verdad nosotros sabemos que ustedes vienen de muy lejos a visitarnos a nuestra comunidad, entonces cuando ustedes vienen la comunidad se siente alegre, verdad, y también verdad que nosotros estamos muy alegres por la visita de ellos. Eso es lo que yo dije, Biabúa es gracias.
You know Biabua? Biabua. He said, thank you for coming to our community once again. He said, we are happy because we know you are coming from far away and we are so happy to have you here. So he said, Biabua, thank you very much for your visit. Biabua.
Biabúa.
Biabua. The ladies here what make the aircraft, what you will go to see later.
Muy buenas tardes, mi nombre es Erika, te voy a estar hablando sobre el trabajo de nosotras las mujeres Embera que confeccionamos la artesanía, qué material utilizamos para confeccionar.
Erika, she will tell you what kind of material they use to make the aircraft and all to make it.
Primeramente, para confeccionar la canasta utilizamos este material que se llama naguala, una palma pequeña que sacamos fibra por fibra, luego lo ponemos a secar por una semana al sol.
This is naguala, a small palm tree. They take it when it's new and make fiber by fiber, wash it with lemon and sour cane, and put it to dry for 2 days. All together ready. All together ready. This is the base at any aircraft what they make. This is the base. With this, let them don't make anything.
Y aquí tenemos el otro material que utilizamos que se llama chunga o palma negra. Sacamos la hoja más nueva, lo traemos a la casa, sacamos fibra por fibra. Y su color original es verde, entonces la lavamos con limón y caña agria para que ella quede el color blanco.
Okay, this is the chunga. Another poultry. Guys, your snacks coming now. Remember, careful with the bones. It's fish and plantain. Okay? This is the chunga. This is another poultry. What they take from another tree. But this time, they cook this poultry. Want it to dry, and when they finish, look like nylon. But it's not nylon. Both of them is natural. The boiler.
Y aquí tenemos los colores. El color rojo lo sacamos del achiote o también de la hoja nueva de teca, se machaca y se cocina por 20 minutos.
The red color. The red color is coming from this little nuts. Many of the Latin people know him like achiote. But the chef used it to make red sauce when
Mexico, the famous tamales, and you can use it too to make chicken, broiling chicken. And that's not all. When it's party time, you can use it like makeup. A rebel can't charge you anything. Let's see this lady here, you eating, you can do it. Just try this lady here, take a little nut, squeeze it in your finger. Okay, oh, you want to make a big party? Squeeze it in your finger. Yeah. Don't put it down. Just like that. And the red color comes down. You know what I'm saying? If you try this water, they give you the color more strong. Here, this little piece of nut. If they don't find this because depends the season, they can use the new leaves from the teak tree. The new leaves from the teak tree, they can use it and have the same color what you saw over here. Look.
Y aquí tenemos el color amarillo. El color amarillo lo sacamos de la raíz que se llama cúrcuma, o también lo conocemos como yuquilla. Se raya en un rallador y se pone aquí en el centro.
The yellow one. This color you got it at home, in your kitchen. You use it many times to make yellow rice. Whether it's really good for the blood. You're going to buy at Walmart. What? This is turmeric. With the turmeric doesn't make this color. Just imagine what it do in your stomach. When you finish to eat that yellow rice, your stomach has to be jello.
Y aquí tenemos el color chocolate. El color chocolate le sacamos de la madera cocobolo. Cuando el hombre está tallando, nosotros jalamos recogemos lo que ellos dejan, los pedacitos, y lo cocinamos.
The brown one, take it from the wood. But all these men, when they work in the cabin, they take that little tiny pieces, but steak, boil it, and make the brown color.
Y aquí tenemos el color negro. Anteriormente era chocolate. Si queremos color negro, vamos al río y enterramos la chunga por 2 días.
To make the black one, first you have to do the brown. After you have the brown, you go to the river, get a place when you have the black sand, put it on the hole for around 3 days. When you finish, you have the black. I think my mother. But let me too long at the hole. What?
Con una aguja empezamos a confeccionar, a tejer. Como pueden ver, la nahuala es el que va por dentro dando un soporte y la chunga el que va dando los diseños con diferentes colores de la liana.
The green one are not here, but the green one, what you saw here, they make it with a liana. The colors coming from the liana of what you find in the rainforest. But to make all this, the secret is use this. A needle, a little needle, and when with the base that you got here, got to put it here, fold it, and this is the easy one. Yeah. That is easy, but more of this is You're never going to see two of them on the same side. Because you can draw what coming here. That coming from your mind. When you started to do all, you come by your mind. And you start to make colors. But this is what they used to make. And this one is easy. Short. This one is easy. This is the easy one. But like I told you, this is the base for everything.
Y aquí tenemos dos tipos de tejido también que nosotros a la mujer de la confeccionamos. Este es el peinado y este es el escalerilla que tiene forma de escalón. El peinado es más difícil para terminar porque la nahuala y la chunga que le ponemos son más delgadas.
Well, when they finish, this is what you have. This is what you have when they finish. They got it stairs because it's going to get stairs from up. And this is the Gucci. The Gucci basket from there.
Bueno, le voy a estar hablando sobre el vestimenta tradicional que es Embera.
This is what they use to cover themselves. From the beginning, back in around 17, 15, 17, 18, 19, they were not using this. They were using the skin what covered the tree. Put it on the river, make it in fibers, and they cover itself that way. But we medical attention here. They were having a lot of problem with the lady having a lot of problem. They were getting sick. At around 1995, when they came to this spot here, the medical give it an option. They make their own design and a textile make this for them. So they were not more infection and not more baby with problems. So now they make the design. If you see the light, the shine color, they make the design and the textile make it for them. Each one of them costs around $20. The signs are pure cardine. Most of the people, the ladies, oak side from the side, use it to go to the pool. The baby sit down. Or my old lady, when we go to the place, we just do it. Look. She will show you how to use it. Simple. Simple. That's the way. Just a new one on the Embera. You put the crown here. And we have an Embera here. A new one. Welcome to the tribe. You want to take it off? Please, not down here. My wife see me, I am a dead man.
Are explain about the handcraft made by the men of the village, okay? Because the men also work here.
Sí, vamos a continuar sobre la artesanía que le estamos explicando. Los trabajos que ella estaba explicando son trabajos de ella. Y nosotros los varones también trabajamos que es la parte de la madera. Esta madera, nosotros aquí en Panamá lo conocemos, lo llaman cocobolo. Y esta madera tiene tres colores. Tiene un color amarillo, un color negro y un color chocolate oscuro.
Okay, this is a cocobolo wood. Cocobolo. It's a marvelous wood. You can have one piece of this, three colors. In one piece you can have three colors, yellow, black, and red. Okay? So they take this wood. This is the work made by the men of the village. You saw the work made by the ladies, okay? Now the men. And then they take it with a machete, they carve it, and then they use a little tool that they call formon, like a little knife, carve it, sandpaper, polish it, and they have this beautiful figure. Okay? The bride is natural. They don't use any type of varnish. Okay? It's bride is natural. Okay?
Ahora con la artesanía, esto es una artesanía también de esto lo llamamos una fruta que se llama tagua. La tagua le da cuando es una palma, la palma nosotros lo llamamos tagua también y la fruta también lo llamamos tagua. De esto nosotros vamos hacia este río en la cabecera, hay varias palmas de eso y nosotros vamos allá y la recogemos y la traemos y nos dedicamos a hacer la artesanía como esta. Ya es la tortuga de esa misma.
This is a nut, a seed of a palm tree, a nut of a palm tree that they call tawa. Okay? If you go all the way river up, they have a lot of palm trees like this, and then they take this palm tree, nut of this palm tree. When it is dry, they take it and carve it also using a little tool. Carve it, using sandpaper also, and then have this beautiful tree. Okay? They have a nice little turtle here, and they use acrylic color for that. Acrylic colors. Okay? These colors are not made here. They buy the acrylic colors in the market.
Bueno, si no tienen sobre las explicaciones sobre la artesanía que estamos explicando, no sé si tienen preguntas para que pregunte y entonces para terminar lo que es la parte de la artesanía.
Okay, here we finish. In case you have any question, we're ready to answer all your questions. If you don't have the answer, I go to Google. Sorry? The family is sleeping in there? Somebody sleeping there?
Ah, los señores que se están quedando.
Ah, yeah. There are people that pass overnight here. Yeah. You can contract overnight and you can stay here.
Oh,
and
but
you
I'm
can
going to
sleep
see
there.
that now.
Okay?
Es una familia que se están quedando por una semana.
There is one family that is being here for 1 week. They will be here for 1 week. Okay? So they stay here for 1 week.
Vamos a la botánica. En la botánica le dan medicina de planta y si no podemos, van al chamán, pero aquí chamán no tenemos.
Okay, if they are sick, person comes and visit the botanic. They have a botanic in the village. They don't have shaman here. So they visit the botanic treat them with plants. If they don't have any cure, then they go to Western medicine, to the hospitals in Panama. They receive free medical attention. Yeah.
You can wash your hand right now. They have the mix of orange leaves and lemongrass.
There's pineapple.
Hey, eat all the pineapple you want.
Muñeca, vine aquí, por favor. Tengo un regalito para ti. Mira, mira. Chiquita. Hey. Ah, yo tengo su atención. ¿Quieres una muñeca? Ay, todos saben ahora. ¿Dónde pone los? ¿A dónde? Oh, aquí es. ¿Qué dices, por favor? Oh, espera.
Fila, 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 fila.
Sí, fila.
Fila. Usted demasiado tarde.
Sola una.
Yo no
Las
tengo
camelas.
Yo no tengo nada.
¿Le gusta? Ah, ¿le gusta?
¡Pare!
We're making any business no shoes here.
Yo no quiero ¡Pare!
Ya tiene. No.
Está diciendo a los jóvenes.
Oh, ok.
Yo quiero chocolate. Fila. Ella tiene. Yo no tengo nada.
Isn't it? Hi, we're walking through the Embera village. We're gonna head up to the show. Hi. Woo. You think you could live a place like this? Yeah, I know. I mean, this would be the excitement, having people who show up, I kind of would think.
It'd be nice to experience like an overnight.
Yeah, like that family?
Yeah. We talked about them staying for like a whole week.
Yeah.
The option of them staying for a week.
You just bring your supplies in and you bring your own supplies in, right?
Yeah.
Really puts things into
Did you
perspective.
see that there? Like, look at their sink in there. Wow. That's
Their
little
plumbing.
kitchen. See that?
Yeah, running water. Which he says came from up there, huh? That's probably their shop. Well, maybe they shop. Yeah, gravity fed. Family up there. Fashion model. Yeah. Oh, I like that. Supermodels. ¿Cuántos años tienes? ¿Y tú? 15. ¿Dos?
Bueno, vamos a continuar, como le estaba explicando, ahora vamos a continuar con las danzas que van a mostrar. Las danzas siempre lo hacemos cuando tenemos una casa grande, nueva, entonces se celebra la danza y el baile. Okay, now we are going to have dances from the ladies of the village. Usually they celebrate, they have a lot of celebrations. They celebrate that they have a new home, they
they have a canoe, when the girl has the first period, it's a big celebration for them. So they celebrate the dances and rumba Embera. Now they will have the dances first. The dances are inspired in the jungle, in the nature. The dances has names of animals, plants, etc. The dances are also used by the shamans when they have a healing. They use the dances. Okay? The ladies dance around the person.
La primera danza que le van a mostrar es la danza de la guacamaya.
The first dance is the dance of the Macau. The dance of the Macau. Okay?
Y la segunda danza es la danza del mono, la que van a mostrar.
The second dance is the dance of the monkey. The second dance is the dance of the monkey. So we have two dances, Macau and monkey. Macau and monkey. Two dances, Macau and monkey. Okay?
Ajá.
all the people from the village dancing. The first dance you can sing. The second dance you're gonna dance. So you're more than welcome to join them. Okay? They're gonna be 2 dances. Let's go. They're called rumba Embera. Rumba.
Okay, detrás. Con pose. Manos arriba. Manos abajo. Manos al lado. Y da una corazón. Yeah, there we go. Y besito. Y puede decir hola.
Hola. Hola, hola. Hola. Yeah. Hi. We.
Number 5, Carlos.
Chao, chao,
Número
chao.
5.
Number
5, Carlos.
Chao.
Dile adiós.
Vuelva pronto.
No, sí.
Vuelva pronto.
Nos vemos pronto. Dile visitarnos.
Visitarnos.
Okay, bye. Of you two together.
You can see a really bad condition. The government decided just to leave it like that. Every 5 years we have a new government. They don't care. They say we are going to do something for you, and nothing happens. And those buildings were with squatters. Nobody was taking care of the buildings. So now has been a big problem here because the crime in these areas. Well, daytime is okay, but nighttime the crime is really high in these areas. This is unemployment rate very high, as I mentioned before. Because now they have a welfare, so they get money if they don't work, or single pregnant ladies, so they get money as well. So now that's a business. Nobody get a job, but they get salary, and ladies just make babies and get checks every month. So now it's has been really bad here. What's going to happen every December? We know that in Panama, those parents they're going to take their kids around 5-10 days before Christmas. And they're going to block off the streets here, asking for bicycles. And the government give it to them for free. I'm talking about maybe 10,000 bicycles. And they give it for free. The kids come and block off all the streets. Say, we want something for Christmas, we want bicycles. That's it. And then they get it. So now the problem here is, what we believe is the mentality here is not the best one. Now they know that's the way to get things, right? So they don't care if they don't go to school. They just want to get some money and get something for free in this area. So has been changing a lot of things. The Colón. If you are from Colón, in Panama we have IDs, numbers according to our place of birth. If I was born here, my ID starts with number 3. Panama City, number 8, right? When you apply to get a job and your ID starts with number 3, everybody looks, the ID says, well, we will call you. Nobody calls you because they believe these people are going to be lazy or something like that. So it's really hard for locals to get a job now. It's very bad on what's happening here. Well, it's good to learn about the good, the bad, and the ugly of the country and the social problems, and everybody has some of the social problems. But this Colón for us is very good example about what's happening in Panama. Colón City is different than Panama City. In Panama, 80% of population are in the Pacific coast. Only 20% here on the Caribbean. Why is that? Because more rain here, and most of the businesses are in Panama City. See?
Yes.
Look at this. This is 2 lanes traffic. But look at this. People are parking here. So we are bigger, but we have to wait. Look at here on the right hand side. This is the health. This is the Social Security hospital. Look at this is the Social Security hospital. Look at that one. If you're sick, when you get here, you are really sick. Yeah. Look at that. That's the reason most of the people, we need a Blue Cross or something like that in Panama, because, and that way we can go to the private hospitals, right? Because that's the only way we can do it here, because or pay private ones. Over there behind, okay, my friends, behind this building is your floating hotel is already there. Yeah, it's a floating hotel. So, well, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this day in Panama. It has been a pleasure for me, myself, and my friend over here. So we hope you have a nice trip and continue nice flight back home, or I don't know, where are you going tomorrow? Where are you going tomorrow? Costa Rica. Enjoy Costa Rica. It's a beautiful place as well. They say always pura vida over there. Enjoy, my friends. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you.